Welcome to moneybot, the ultimate tf2 cheat designed to revolutionize your gameplay experience. Today, I'll introduce you to the vast array of features offered by our extremely comprehensive cheat. Now, first things first. Before we do anything, we have to make a config. So we're going to head up to the config section of the cheat and make one. In this list, there's going to be every config we create or simply download from the cloud panel. And here is where we can give our config its name. For the video's purpose, we're going to name our config Showcase, and since the configs are stored in the cloud panel, you can download this config yourself as soon as this video goes live. After a few seconds, we can see that our config has been successfully created and automatically loaded upon creation. Scrolling down, we can see other options such as load, save, reset, delete, and refresh to refresh your configs list. Now that we're in game, let's check out the Aimbot section. Moneybot's Aimbot tab is customizable for each class, but for the sake of this showcase, we will select the general option, which covers all of the 9 classes in one page. Here you can customize your setup to match your playstyle, with choices to target buildings, players, enemy sticky bombs, NPCs, and bosses. You can turn on autofire if you want to immediately shoot when you hit the key, or keep it off if you want to appear more legit. You can adjust the aimbot's field of view for different weapon types like regular guns, melee, and projectiles. Now, let's dive into smoothing, a feature that humanizes your aimbot. You can adjust how it selects targets and hitboxes based on position or proximity to tune your aim. You can utilize smoothing if you want to appear as a legit player. You can choose from 3 snap types: static aim snap, smooth aim snap, and silent aim. Silent aim keeps your camera steady during aimbotting for a seamless experience. Spectator smooth automatically switches to smooth aim when someone spectates you. Enable this to appear more legit to others. You can target specific hitboxes like head, chest, and pelvis for both regular and projectile weapons. For projectile hitboxes, we have body and hit scan. Hit scan optimally aims for the feet on the ground and torso in the air, while body targets the body at any time. Projectile time improves accuracy, predicting your target's movement depending on the value of the slider, while splash prediction suggests the best location for maximum splash damage. Multi-points allow you to target multiple points within an enemy's hitbox, giving you an advantage when enemies peek from cover. Backtrack uses lag compensation, allowing you to hit past positions up to 200 milliseconds. For heavy, we have tap fire, which makes you shoot your minigun in short, accurate bursts, improving your accuracy at long range. You can exclude specific targets like disguised spies, invincible enemies, taunting players, and even your friends from the aimbot's target selection. To boost performance on older systems, moneybot includes optimization options like faster backtrack record selection, double tap selection, record scanning, and point selection. For sniper and spy, you can find features such as preferred body aim if lethal and wait for head. Additionally, sniper has an extra wait for options like charged, which will wait until the sniper is charged enough for the enemy to be lethal, and scope, which will wait until the sniper is scoped to shoot. In the triggerbot sub-tab, the auto sticky bomb allows you to automatically detonate sticky bombs when enemies enter a set range, allowing you to place sticky bombs where you think the enemy is going to be and automatically detonating when they're close to them. As a spy, auto backstab offers 2 modes: legit for a smoother backstab, and rage for instant backstabs. Adjust the backstab radius to appear more legit. Auto disguise automatically disguises you as the enemy when playing as spy. Other features including auto sap for sabotaging enemy buildings, auto flare pop for targeting with the flare gun, auto air blast for deflecting incoming projectiles, and extinguish team to automatically extinguish burning teammates. Automations are things that will automatically happen when you aimbot. Scope will auto-scope when an enemy is visible. Whip Team will automatically whip any teammates in melee range with a disciplinary action. Rev will automatically rev your minigun when the aimbot is activated. Self-Uber and Friend Uber will automatically Uber when you or your friend get low enough on health. And lastly, AutoVac will automatically switch the vaccinator's resist modes to the best possible one depending on the situation you're currently facing. Moving on to exploits. Seed Prediction will allow us to no spread with weapons like the minigun after a certain amount of time, depending on the game server's uptime. And Projectile No Spread will remove the spread from projectile weapons. The Critical Hack allows you to deal crits whenever you want. You can store damage in a bucket when shots don't crit, using it for critical hits when needed. Worth noting, certain weapons like headshots for snipers or backstabs for spies always crit. An indicator shows the crit hack availability and stored damage. You can additionally choose to skip random crits and make all melee attacks critical hits. Another powerful tool in the exploits section is Double Tap. Double Tap lets you charge ticks and fire 2 shots instantly. You can activate Double Tap for primary, secondary, melee, or all 3 weapon slots. Options include Anti-Warp to avoid unintended teleportation, Anti-Air to disable double tapping in the air, and Auto Recharge for automatic tick replenishment. You can assign a recharge key to manually charge ticks, keeping in mind that fake leg is disabled when ticks are charged. Warp teleports you a short distance with the warp factor slider controlling the speed of the warp. Keep the slider at lower values for a slow motion warp and higher values for an instant teleportation. After exploring the Aimbot section, let's move on to the visual section. You can configure your ESP for enemies, teammates, local player, friends, invincible players, cloaked spies, cheaters, bots, duelists, Uber-charged players, aimbot targets, NPCs, buildings, and entities. And each of these categories can be configured differently if they're on red or blue team. On the ESP section, we have a name, which displays the player's name above their head. And under that, we have box top, which creates a background box under the name text. Following that, we have health type, which is your usual health bar that can be displayed either on the left of the ESP or on top of their head, making it a good combination with the background box. We also have gradient and top gradient, which renders the health bar in a customizable gradient. Class icons display the enemy's class they're on with an icon of that class on top of their head, which is also customizable. Health text will display their current HP on the left side of the ESP, and flags will display their flags on the right. Weapon text will display the weapon they're holding in plain text, while weapon will display it in a weapon icon. Uber bar displays their Uber charge duration in the bottom of the ESP on a bar which can be static or gradient. Box type allows you to select different types of bounding boxes including static, corner, 3D, and gradient. Out of FOV arrows are customizable arrows that point at the enemy's direction that are out of your view. These arrows can be customized by their size and distance using their own sliders. Skeleton draws a skeleton on the ESP, and distance draws the distance you have from each enemy on the bottom of the ESP in hammer units. Snapline draws a line from the enemy to the top, middle, bottom, left, or right of your screen. D-Lights renders lights under the enemies, which you can adjust the radius of using the slider that goes from 0 to 1000. Sniper View Angles displays a line indicating where scoped snipers are aiming at, and Projectile Trajectory indicating the trajectory of enemy projectiles. On the Chams subtab, we can choose between Player Chams and Backtrack Chams. Player Chams apply customizable visual effects to the player models, while Backtrack Chams display the backtrack model to your backtrack range. Worth mentioning, on the local Chams you can also choose between player, fake angle, fake lag, view model arm, and weapon Chams. On the options list you can choose between default flat color, ignore Z which renders Chams through walls, draw the original model, wireframe to make your Chams wireframe overlay to make your overlay appear as wireframe, clear, and clear overlay. On the filters list, you can filter the Chams to also apply to the cosmetics the player is wearing and the weapon they're holding. Additionally, on the player material and overlay, you can choose between flat, texture, shiny, Fresnel, outline, and paint. On the glow sub-tab, you can choose to apply glow to players, attachments, backtrack, local player, fake angles, and attachments. You can also apply chams and glow effects to both enemy and team projectiles, further enhancing the visual experience. Moving on to the other section of the visuals, we have the Misc, World, and the Money Compensator sub-tab. On the Misc sub-tab, we have Free Cam, a feature that once you enable it, you can freely move your camera using the movement keys. You can configure it to follow pipes, stickies, rockets, arrows, energy, flares, and throwables. In the options list, we have Aimbot View Model and Aimbot Crosshair, Weapon Sway, and lastly Custom Scope Line, which allows you to customize the sniper's scope lens. Aimbot FOV Circle visualizes the aimbot's FOV drawing a circle on the screen. The higher the FOV, the bigger the circle becomes. MVM Weapon Sounds allows you to have the weapon sounds from MVM regardless of whether you're playing MVM or not. On the projectile options list, we have Line, that draws the target's predicted movement. Ticks, that draw the ticks of the target's predicted movement. Trajectory Line, which draws the projectile's trajectory before you shoot. Aim Line, that draws your projectile's trajectory when you aimbot. And Sticky Range, which displays your sticky bomb's explosion range. Kill Effects adds special effects to the enemies you kill, and Death Effect adds special effects when you die. The kill effects range from burn, electric, ash, to liquefy. And the death effects range from gold to ice. You can also filter the death effects to apply to enemies only. Modify Ragdoll Push allows you to customize your ragdoll push using a slider from 0 to 10. Third Person allows you to change your camera's perspective from first person to third person. You can also include your crosshair while in third person, and modify the camera's position using their own sliders. Aspect Ratio allows you to modify your game's aspect ratio in real time using the slider that ranges from 0 to 200. The lower the number, the wider the aspect ratio. The FOV slider allows you to modify your camera's field of view ranging from 60 to 160. Custom XYZ lets you customize your view model by their forward, right, and up axis from -100 to 100, while also being able to rotate your view model from -180 degrees to 180 degrees. Hit Height draws a hit marker. You can make it a little 2D cross in the middle of your screen, or a 3D cross that will appear where you hit the enemy. Additionally, you can also draw the damage numbers along with the 3D hit marker, and also customize the colors if the hit was a crit or a lethal shot. Bullet Effect and Crit Effect allows you to add different effects to your bullet tracers ranging from the Machina, Capper, Marasmus Zap, Explosion, Sparkle, Zap, Spin, Balloon, and Lightning. Bullet Tracers allows you to customize your bullet's tracers, with tracer types being default and crit. You can use effects like beam, laser, glow, and white, along with their style options such as static, party, and gradient. Bullet Impact Box draws an impact box where your bullets landed on a surface or an enemy player. On the removal list, we have a wide range of options, including scope, zoom, zoom sensitivity, disguise, taunt, recoil, aim punch, screen effects, forced angles, screen overlays, MOTDs, decals, extra props, gibs, bloom, fog, sky fog, ragdolls, cosmetics, dropped weapons, post-processing, and death animation. On the indicator list, we have radar, double tap, crit hack, no spread indicator, watermark, spectators, keybinds list, manual anti-aim arrows, and third-person arrows. On the World sub-tab, we can modify the game world in any way we want. For example, we can customize the weather with options like rain, which adds a rain effect, with weather types like light and heavy rain, along with the rain radius, width, length, and speed slider. We can also modify the wind from the rain with wind side speed, wind direction, and wind speed sliders, with lastly a slider that modifies the rain's volume. We can also add various sound effects, such as wind sound effects and ambience, both with our own volume sliders. Additionally, there's thunder, which creates a thunder effect with its customizable color and sound effect volume slider. Another thing in the world subtab is the skybox changer. It has every skybox that is officially in tf2, but also the ability to add your own skyboxes. All you have to do is add a skybox to the skybox folder and hit refresh, and the newly added skybox will be shown in the list. You can also change your vision using the vision changer, which includes Pyro Vision, Halloween, and Roam Vision. You can modulate the color of any particle using the particle color feature, or just the Halloween spells using the Halloween spells feature. Additionally, you can modulate the entire world, the skybox, and the props using their own modulate options. Fade Prop Alpha disables the fade in effect on props that are far away from the player. Multicolor prop makes all the props in the world have a random color, and motion blur allows you to have motion blur with its strength ranging from 0 to 5 with its own slider. Fog adds a fog to your game with thick fog increasing its density. You can choose the fog start and end point using the sliders below. Sky fog is the same as regular fog, but it applies to the skybox instead of the game world. Bloom Tailor lets you add a bloom effect that also lets you customize its exposure and scale with their own sliders. Polygon models reduces the amount of polygons in every model in TF2, allowing you to gain a little more FPS than usual. You can change the game's texture in real time. You can choose between Dev, Retro, Brick, Radiant, and Flat, with the ability to use your own custom textures if you want to. World movement makes the world textures move at a set speed and angle, which you can customize using the speed and angle sliders below. The Money Compensator subtab is the skin changer of moneybot. You can modify the skins of the weapon you're holding, add unusual effects to the cosmetic slot of your choosing that has a cosmetic equipped, apply certain war paint to the weapon you're holding, or add a certain holiday feature. You can choose any unusual particle on your weapons, including hot, isotope, cool, community sparkle, and energy orb. You can also apply any killstreak sheen including Team Shine, Deadly Daffodil, Mandarin, Mean Green, Agonizing Emerald, Villainous Violet, and Hot Rod. You can apply the skins using the apply button, save, or load your skins config using their own buttons.
Mission begins in 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3.
After making our visuals, let's check out the miscellaneous section. In the movement section, we have bunny hop for automatic b-hopping, and auto strafing with legit and WASD modes. The duck jump feature automatically crouches while jumping. And break jump breaks the jump animation to make it harder for enemies to hit you. Fan jump automatically fires the force of nature at the ground for an extra jump as scout. And rocket jump for automatic rocket jumping to maneuver in the sky. Moving into the follow bot, which you can bind to a key. It automatically follows your selected target. Auto secondary switches to your secondary weapon when you spawn, which is ideal when you want to make a medic follow bots. Anti-push stops other entities from pushing your player model, and taunt slide unlocks full movement during a moving taunt. Crouch speed maintains full running speed while crouching. Auto peek will automatically return you to the last position where you press the keybind. Auto peek options will enable you to customize the style of the auto peek, with choices such as circle and effects. On the other section, you can customize the menu accent color to your preference and change the menu opening key. Always Halloween lets you wear Halloween items outside of the Halloween season. MVM Inspect will allow you to see other people's upgrade when you walk up to them and press F. MVM Auto Ready will automatically ready up. Auto Join immediately joins matchmaking games and then automatically selects the class you have chosen. Auto Queue keys you for another game when you're entering the menu. Auto Accept accepts any matchmaking game. Noisemaker Spam lets you spam noisemaker sounds to annoy others. Quick Stop halts your character the moment you release movement keys. Region Changer allows manual matchmaking region setting, allowing you to play on any server worldwide. Log settings allow logging of events like cheater flags to console, on-screen UI logs, in-game chat, and more. You can choose between animated flags, static, or plain text. Voice spam type lets you choose voice lines for chat spam, and spam amount adjust their frequency. Chat spam promotes moneybot by spamming the chat with the website's link. Extend ping extends your ping, increasing backtracking capabilities. Reduce ping can spoof your ping to appear lower on the scoreboard while using extend ping. End time activate on threat. Enables end time when a threat is visible/detected. Avoid overlap. Prevents fake and real hitboxes from overlapping. At targets will make you face the enemies at all times, unless you have auto direction enabled. You can choose any of the pitches in the drop down or choose the automatic pitch, which will use the best pitch for every class. You can fine-tune the direction of your real yaw with a yaw offset. Auto direction will dynamically adjust your yaw to cover your head. With fake yaw offset, you can fine-tune the direction of your fake yaw. Anti-backstab prevents you from getting backstabbed by making you look at the enemy spy when they get close to you. You can enable distortion. On top of it, you can also use force turn and shift. And here at the bottom, we have manual direction. You can manually make your body face left or right, providing full control. Active on threat. Enables fake lag when a threat is visible/detected. Triggers. Enable fake lag for specific movements like standing, moving, or jumping. You can also put it on always. Fake lag types. Plain, adaptive, break step. And here at the bottom, we have fake lag value slider for just how many packets you'd like to choke. Now, let's dive into the player list. The player list can give you control over individual players with separate settings. Clicking on a player reveals their name, health, and team. Beyond basic details, you can manually assign flags like cheater for suspicious players, duelist for duel challenges, and flags for friends and ignored players. You can adjust your aimbot's targets with aimbot priority from a scale from 0 to 10 for each player. The player list offers options to override hitbox selection, letting you manually set preferences for head, chest, or pelvis. You can also customize the pitch of specific players by setting it to up, down, 0, or auto. Manually override yaw for players with options like forward, backward, left, right, invert, edge for holding corners, or auto. Auto dynamically adjust your yaw based on hits and misses, maximizing accuracy.